Hi, and welcome to week 3 of this guide to learning to go fast, open up this hand, and gain some independence. This course I'm calling Perpetual Joy, or the piece is called Perpetual Joy. It's based on Beethoven's Ninth Symphony Finale, Ode to Joy. Playing some doubles here, some fast notes, some 16th notes to teach the right hand to be flexible and supple and independent from the rest of the arm. You made it through week 1 and 2, and here you are at week 3. If we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Clay from the Cello.online, and there's a PDF guide available to go along with this course, available for purchase on the website. So check out that link below so you can follow along with us here through the tutorial. Now, week 3 has the largest number of to-do items here for us, with 5 different things that we need to accomplish this week. And let me interject something here, because now that we're at five items on our list here, this week 3 list might take you 2 weeks. And if it does, no shame, right? If it takes you 10 weeks to get through this course, that's probably about the average I would imagine most people would take to get through this. I've written it to be done in 8. If you do everything, follow all the goals, all the checklist items there on the daily checklist up above the grid here, you will get there in 8 weeks. If you need to split this one into 2 weeks, that's also just fine. Remember, this is such an important goal to reach, loosening up this hand, breaking it free from the rest of the arm. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, okay? And also think about this. Probably you're watching this, you've downloaded the PDF because this is something that you've wanted to achieve for quite a while. Maybe been playing for a year, maybe been playing for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. 3 months is not very much if that's how long it takes you. Hopefully it only takes you 8 weeks. Hopefully it only takes you 10 weeks. But if it takes you 15, 16 weeks, whatever, that's actually not that much time, all right? And you will be so much better off when you have loosened up this wrist over here, all right? I also want to interject that as we start to go faster, right? So the first thing on our list here is our scale prep 2, where we're playing 4 16th notes, right? And why does all this cutting in half business matter? Why do we do it? Well, in theory, we start out with playing 2 beats worth like we did in the beginning. And what happens when we cut it in half, or get down to 2, the actual amount of time, or the actual speed to get from note to note is the same, right? When I'm going from 3rd finger to 4th finger, I'm moving there at the same speed, all right? The amount of time, whether I'm doing 2, the change is the same, whether I'm doing 8 of them or whether I'm doing 2 of them. So in theory, I should be able to go from 8 to 4 to 2 with no problem. In theory, it doesn't quite ever work out that way, all right, which is why we always start out slow, all right? We need that time to think about the next note. I'm also saying this because as we go through this and we're cutting them in half, all right, and we still have one more scale prep to do next week in week 4, our final one. But as we're going through this, don't be afraid to use some of our tried and true practice techniques to get this thing up to tempo, meaning dotted rhythms, right? So one of my goals this week here in week 3 is to get this scale prep 2 up to 145. It's entirely possible that to do that, I'm going to just put it on 120 here. I need to do some dotted rhythms, like so. And we'll play through them here in a second. Or, reversing them, make sure you do them both. And I have a whole video on the channel here about playing dotted rhythms. All right, so always works. Okay, always helps to do dotted rhythms. The other one is to go fast, and we started to do this last week. I'm going to put it on, because this is going to be kind of difficult here. Let's put it on like 105 here at the beginning. We'll go a little slower here. And this is called to do a burst of notes. This also helps to ensure that I'm playing the right number of 16th notes, and that is to play a group and wait. So all right, this can really help you to play the right number of notes. And I also mentioned how when we put the rest in there, it feels a little different. All right, there's almost like a little lift at the end of it. It's like, did I play 4? Yes, I really played 4. Okay, all right, it doesn't feel, musically, it doesn't feel quite the same as when we're going continuously. All right, and that's completely normal. All right, so doing the burst of notes, putting the rest in there, playing a small group, and then waiting. Okay, that also helps coordinate our fingers. Doing the dotted rhythms, right? And we'll play through all these here in a second. But all these things will help you get it up to speed in addition to meeting the metronome goals with the things that we're talking about, all right? The other thing is reminder, isolating this. Maybe doing this isolation exercise at a faster tempo where I'm just moving my wrists and fingers, all right? So here we are on week 3. We should have been getting pretty fast by now. Other reminders. Am I really holding the bow in my fingertips, right? Do our bow push-ups, all right? Making sure that we are flexing our fingers here, okay, on the bow, because this is the key, right? I have to flex my wrist like this. I have to flex all of it in order to go fast, all right? Now, also, I have grouped these by the scale or by the piece or by the section of the piece that we are playing, all right? But as you do this daily, you're going to want to skip around and do each one of them at those slower tempos before you go to the faster one the next day, and be sure and use the timestamps down below to get to wherever you need to. All right, so here we are at Scale Prep 2, 1 beat worth of 16th notes, yeah? Starting at 105. Make sure that you got it up to 100 from last week. Here we go. Yep, up. Get my 16th notes in my head here. 1, 2, ready, and. Here we go. 115 next on the hit list here. Still going. 1 beat worth. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. $125. Here we go. 1. Oh, I feel this. I feel the wall moment, the threshold moment, the hurdle here. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Oh, gotta do it again. Why do we have to do it again? I heard some sliding. I heard the bow sliding, right? So as I go through this, and I'm cutting it in half, and I'm doing fewer, and I'm going faster, I'm going to want to tense up my bow because I'm trying to coordinate my fingers together. I'm going to want to tense up, and my bow is going to start to lift off the string. But I got to stay focused here on a great tone. Let's do this 125 again with a much better tone all the way through. 1, 2, ready, and. That was better. Let's go to 130. 5. Oh, it's feeling fast. You can do it though. Ready? This end, by the way, this end of week 3, beginning of week 4, you're going to feel the, I'm going to go back, I'm going to repeat it, I'm going to say it again. It might take you a couple of weeks, okay? That's okay, all right? But if you want to push through, just so you know, the end of week 3 here, okay, the beginning of week 4 is going to be the big moment, okay? But if you can make it, there, if you can make it to the middle of week 4, and then the end, you'll be halfway. Oh man, it's going to feel good. Here we go, 135. 1, 2, ready, and. Ooh, almost let it slide there. 145, here we go. It's going to be fast. 1, 2, ready, and. That's quick, all right? So this is the one where you might need to do some dotted rhythms, and we'll do those here at the end, okay? Add those in. Now, scale prep 3. So scale prep 3 is our ultimate goal here as far as the scales helping us get to that doubles variation. So we're going to go all the way down to 60. Because with this, we're doing 16th notes still, okay? But we are only doing 2 16th notes per note, right? So I'm going along. 1, bum, 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 bum. So I'm changing really quick, all right? Or I'm changing really soon, I should say. All right, going back to our early discussion. Here we go. 1, 2, scale prep 3. Got it? Okay, here we go. 70. 1, 2, ready, and. Oh, I really feel that difference between 60 and 70 still. Here we go. 80. 1, 2, ready, and. $90. Here we go. Feeling quick. 1. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, here we go. 100. Ready? Last one on this one. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, you made it through scale prep 3. All right, next week's going to be the one. All right, it's going to be our last time of doing scales next week. Okay, so make sure this one is great tone up to tempo. Okay, 8th note theme and new 8th note theme, right? So at the end of last week, we got that 8th note theme up to 145. Okay, this week we're introducing an 8th note theme cut in half, right? This is our thing, right? We're going to keep cutting stuff in half, giving ourselves fewer repetitions, teaching these hands to be coordinated, getting to those notes sooner. Now, the nature of the Ode to Joy melody, though, requires that in this version of the 8th note theme that we do play some 16th notes in the middle. I will demonstrate. It comes at the end, so we have. Hear the 16th notes there at the end there in the third phrase. So I'll make sure to write it out. Make sure you have the PDF in front of you so you understand. Let's do it one more time so you can hear it. Okay, so you do have to have the 16th notes there in the middle. So that's what it sounds like. So a little bit different, just the way it works out with the melody there. Have to put that in there or else it wouldn't sound like Ode to Joy. All right, so we have those 16th notes thrown in, but like with all things, we're going to start very slow, and we're going to start this this little prep here, the 8th note melody down on 60. Remember, this is in preparation for the doubles variation, or the variation that comes second or at the end of the piece. With the stop bows. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Here we go with 70. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Go 80. Keep those stop bows. Remember, stopping the bow really hard, hearing that hard start. All right, hard stop, hard start. All right, so that we're flexing these fingers, continually checking our bow hold here. 1, 2, ready, and. Here we go, just 2 more. 90. One, 2, ready, and. One more, 100, here we go. One, 2, ready, and. I heard one little slide in there. I don't want to let myself get away with that, right? Remember, no sliding, all right? Bow grabbing the string every single time. You have to be really picky about this. Let's do it again. 1, 2, ready, and. Nope. Gotta focus. 1, 2, ready, and. we go. All right, so be really, really picky about the tone. If you hear any scratches, if you hear any sliding, if you hear the bow not contacting the string, you got to go back and do it again. The tone is everything in letting you know if you made the correct motion over here with your fingers, okay, at the tempo that we've prescribed. All right, so we've made it through Scale Prep 2. We've made it through Scale Prep 3 for this week. We've made it through our new eighth note theme up to 100. All right, 2 more things to go here. Allegretto Cantabile at our new tempo, 105. Are you ready? Here we go. Find our first note. 1, 2, ready, and... Here we go, 115. Remember, we're only going to 120 on this. 1, 2, ready, and... slowing down in there with the metronome. There is a multi-retard written in there, so I thought I'd throw it in there. Okay, here we go. We're going to throw the slowing down in there again. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and... And that is the Allegretto Cantabile. We just did it up to tempo. Yay! All right, so why have a section like this in the middle of a piece? If our goal is to make this go fast, okay, loosen this thing up, then is it just for fun? Like, what is the point of this little middle section here in the piece? Well, actually, there is a point to it, and it is the following, that I want to be using all this bow, right? So as I going through the rest of the weeks here, as I'm going through the course and getting things up to speed, I can keep polishing up this middle section, and the way that I practice it, the way that I play it, all right, can help actually learn the rest of the piece and get it up to speed. For example, so as you're going through, you're continually wanting to make sure that you're using lots of bow. Notice that whenever I'm playing it, it's a big sound. I'm opening up my bow. So I'm teaching my right hand to go fast, to pull the bow fast. Maybe it's a long note, but look at the speed of the bow. Make sure I start there. Okay, even though I'm playing sustained notes, I'm still going pretty fast over here, yes? All that fast bow movement. I'm still teaching my bow to stay connected. I'm still teaching my fingers to flex, all right? So the more legato, remember these things, they interact with each other, they help each other, right? Remember our original statement that it isn't just about going fast over here with the right hand, that we want to learn to play legato, all right? That we want to learn to flex our fingers so that we can connect notes better, not just play faster, that we want to make our arm weight more consistent and get a better tone, all right? So let's start, now that we've gained some ability here, we've been playing fast, let's apply that to this middle section. Let's play it as beautifully and as wonderfully as we can with nice flexible fingers and flexed wrist. And by practicing it better, getting a better sound in this middle section, it will actually help us play the fast stuff a lot easier, okay? Now that you know it up to tempo, okay? Because 120 is our max speed for that middle section, okay? So we're going to keep polishing that up. All right, and here we are at our last item here for week 3, or maybe you're doing the slow version at the beginning of the week. That's fine. All right, however you want to mix it up, or maybe you're at the end of the week, or maybe even sliding over into week 4. Like I said earlier, totally okay. It might take you 2 weeks here, but we're finally playing an actual part of the finished product, all right? The double doubles variation, which is the beginning of Perpetual Joy here. So I'm going back to my first 8th note theme and turning them all into 16th notes. Make sure you're looking at the music so you play the right number of notes. I know that I am, but we're going to start slow. We're going to start at 60, as always. And here we go. Double doubles. Remember, make sure we got a great tone. Loosening up this hand, wrist, and fingers. Let's do it. 1, 2, ready, and... Good, all right, 60, we did it. Now, if you've played anything like this before, or most likely maybe you haven't, remember we're going 16th notes. This lines up with the very first version of the 8th note theme that we did earlier in the week, yeah? So visually, if it's easier for you to just look at the 8th notes and double all of them, you could do that as well. But I have it written out if you need it written out. Let's go 70. 1, 2, ready, and... There we go, 80. Moving on up here. One, two, ready, and... Might start to feel fast here. 1, 2, ready, and... All right, last one. 100. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and... All right, you made it. Okay, you made it to the end of week 3. Here we go. This is awesome. So make sure that you're looking at your list, all right, looking at the checklist. Make sure we're getting a great sound. Always, always, always make sure this wrist, fingers, everything is staying loose. We are headed into week 4, almost halfway there. You can do it. Thanks for hanging in here with me. And I will see if you need that video. It's right here. You can click on it or click on the playlist if you're finding this video first. And I will see you in the next one.